Hello, welcome to another video. In today's video, we are going to talk about why I decided to quit bedside nursing and long-term care altogether. The number one reason that I decided to give up on bedside nursing is really lack of appreciation. Lack of appreciation from the companies that you work for, lack of appreciation from the family members, and even lack of appreciation for from the people that you work with. As a nurse, you're not just a nurse. You are the waitress. You are a mother. You are a housekeeper. Whatever it is that the patient need at that time, you are the individual. So you're basically a jack of all trades. Whether or not you want to go above and beyond, nursing is not something that you just go in, do your task, and then go home. It's impossible. You cannot. A lot of the managers or the owners of the companies, hospitals, long-term care, everywhere basically, they don't really see or understand the level of sacrifice that you do as a nurse for your patients. And a lot of times you don't do it for these individuals. You do it for the patients, okay? Because you want your patients to be comfortable, you want them to be well taken care of. However, they don't see the value in you. We have families as well. That's something that they don't consider at all. It's like, as a nurse, you don't have your own life. You don't have families to look after. That's how I feel like they perceive things. It just drove me nuts. And then the other thing would be unsafe conditions. For example, with COVID and everything, they don't have enough masks for you to wear, okay? They don't have enough things for you to do proper hand hygiene. And they expect you to still go in and perform these things and do all this stuff without the proper gear, without you gearing up properly for your safety. During COVID, a lot of us healthcare workers, we had to sacrifice a lot. Some of us didn't go home. Some of us had to stay in hotels to keep our families safe, but we still had to go into work. But we can't go home to our families because of fear that we might give them COVID. So because of that, a lot of people don't see it. Through the pandemic, it did affect everyone worldwide, obviously. However, I just feel like we got the bulk of it, and we got praise. Oh, you guys are heroes. You guys are this, you guys are that. They don't see the things that we do on a daily basis, even before the pandemic. Okay, the things that we do, things that we have to go through, it's a lot. And I feel that we are underappreciated. We are not seen. We're just basically another number to these facilities that we're working with, because all they're concerned about getting people in and out, making their money, and then go about their business. They don't really get involved, get personal. They don't ask you how you're doing, nothing of a sort. The third reason is physical and mental abuse from residents, family members, even staff that you work with. Residents, like I said, a lot of them have dementia. I didn't mind dealing with them with their physical abuse and things like that because, one, I knew they weren't in their right mind, so I just kind of worked it around where I knew what their triggers were and was able to kind of tell when they're getting agitated, when they're getting ready to become aggressive, so that I can prevent the aggression. The other thing is pay. The pay sucks in Canada, basically, for nurses. And then you get a raise every year, but it's about $1. $1 per year raise. You don't get bonuses, you don't get anything else, just a $1 raise every year. And then on top of that, you have union. Look, unions, some people love the union. My opinion, I feel like unions are for bad workers. Sometimes when you need them in situations, they don't do crap for you. But yet, you're not getting much of a raise. But at the same time, their fees are increased. They're taking a good lump sum of your money to do shit. But for me, they didn't do scrap because it was just, I just felt like they were just taking my money. If they can give me all my money back, I would be more than grateful. They can never pay us enough for what we do. But really, the pay sucks. The pay sucks for the amount of crap that you have to deal with. And on top of that, it's like no respect, right? It's whatever, you do this, you do that, oh, you're getting paid for it. Anything you say, anything you mention, you get backed with, oh, you're getting paid. Yeah, I'm getting paid because I'm providing you a service, but the crap that I have to put up with doing that service is not worth what you're paying me. Which brings me to my next point. It's mental and physical burnout. Mental health is important for everyone. In the environment that we work, it's important that you take your days off, you take your mental time. If you feel mentally that you cannot be there that day, you cannot perform your task or deal with these patients that day, it's best that you take the time off than to go into work, because that's when accidents happen. That's when people snap. That's when a lot of people become abusive to the residents, because mentally they're going through whatever it is, they're not there, and they're going to work because they have to or forced to. Some of these facilities, if you're sick, you call in sick, it's like it's the end of the world. Okay, you're being questioned, you're getting multiple calls. Why did you call out? We're short, we're this, we're that. And they don't even ask you what's wrong. Are you okay? At the end of the day, I'm human. Yes, you need me to do whatever. But at the same time, if mentally I feel like I cannot deal with someone with dementia patients that day, I have the right to make sure that I stay away for safety reasons. Safety for me, safety for the residents, to protect my license, because if I go in that day and I just happen to snap and something happens, guess what? I can lose my license. So for you not to understand that, then it's an issue. Physical burnout, you go there, it's so busy. You don't even have time to go to the washroom. I mean, I remember in nursing school, they used to tell us nurses have a higher prevalence of getting UTIs. Now I know why. Because sometimes you really have to go, but then you're doing a dressing or you're doing a Foley catheter. Somebody fell, you have to do vital signs, and it's non-stop. So you don't have time to go to the washroom. Sometimes you don't have time to even eat. Sometimes you'll bring your lunch and it's untouched. You know, you can work a 12-hour shift, 16-hour shift, and then they ask you to come back. You go home. By the time you go home, if you live, let's say, an hour or two away, so it takes you 2 hours to go, 2 hours to drive back. So basically in between, you probably got 4 hours of sleep. Then you got to go back to work again. Physically on the body, it takes a toll on the body. The employers, they don't want to hear about that. I learned that working for a corporate company, it's not all it's cracked up to be. There's a lot of bull crap. I'm the type of individual, if there's something that needs to be done, I like to get it done and over with. Whereas when you're working for these kind of companies, you have to go through this person, then through that person to get something that is so simple to get done. So I said, okay, I need to find something else. So I started looking into different things. And aesthetics was always something that I was interested in, but then I was afraid initially of doing aesthetics because I just felt like, oh, I'm going to lose all my nursing skills, because with aesthetics, you're really only focusing on beauty, the face, and I won't remember how to do a Foley catheter and all that nonsense. I quickly got over that because I said I wanted to go with COVID that happened and everything and seeing death every day. I said I wanted to go into a field where I actually saw happy faces. People who were actually happy, who came to you to make them happier. And so I said, you know what? This is where I'm going to go. Besides, I was always into beauty. If I wasn't a nurse, I think I probably would have been a hairstylist, because since I was young, I was always doing everybody's hair. I was in high school. Any hairstyle I saw, I can mimic the hairstyle on my own hair. I do my own hair all the time. So that was a God-given talent. So most likely, if I wasn't a nurse, I probably would have been doing something in the hair industry. And so beauty was always kind of like my niche. And so I said, okay, that goes perfectly with aesthetics and nursing. So that's when I started doing a bit more research, looking into it, and then went to visit a few spas and just asking questions to see if it's something that I really wanted to do. And when I started noticing the beauty of it, the positive side of it, I mean, everything has a negative side. However, it was more positive than anything. And the fact that I can become my own boss. I didn't have to work with anybody. I can basically create my own hours. I don't have to follow anybody's unrealistic rules. I got to deal with public health, sure. But as long as I'm in compliance with the main things that they're asking for, which I feel like they're not as nitpick as the ministry. So if you're a nurse and you feel like bedside nursing is not for you anymore, you want to quit, I encourage you to do so. Okay. Mental health, your mental health is more important than anything for me. This is why I said now I'm a big advocate for mental health, because what good am I to you if I'm unable to function mentally and physically, right? So there's literally nothing better than prioritizing your own health. If you're not healthy, then how could you be a good nurse? You can't really help your patients. You're probably going to cause more harm to them than anything. So make sure you take care of your mental health and do what works for you. If you love bedside nursing, great. Nothing wrong with it. And like I said, I did enjoy working, doing bedside nursing with the residents and things like that. But a lot of these facilities, they really need to reassess how they treat their workers. They need to reassess their expectations. Okay. They need to be more realistic. And if you have such expectations, then you need to provide the resources that we need to make sure that we can implement those expectations. So that's my take on it. But anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time.